Hello, everyone. My name is Tammy Berry. I'm the Vice Provost for Graduate and Professional Education, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2022 meet and greet for the graduate school. So I want to welcome all of our new scholars. As you'll see, as I'm doing the introduction today about the graduate school, we do indeed consider you all scholars, not just students. Getting into what we think of as graduate education and research at WSU, which is you're an integral part of. WSU is an R1 university. It's considered a very high research activity. That's what R1 means. And we are also a land-grant institution. And so graduate education is really centered into WSU's research mission. We couldn't actually accomplish the research that we do without graduate scholars. And you are the next generation of scholars and intellectual leaders for the various fields that you're here to study. So we're just really excited to have you here. The future depends on all of you. I did want to go over some of what the graduate school does. We have three primary missions. We are here to provide service. We have many constituents that include students like yourselves, faculty, the academic programs themselves, colleges, campuses, and really the WSU institution as a whole. So it starts with individual students and goes all the way through the institution. But it's not a mistake that we have students listed first, because from the graduate school's perspective, students absolutely do come first. We are here to provide some oversight. Don't think of it as, oh, you have to jump through a lot of hoops for the graduate school. What we're trying to do is really quality control. We want your degree from WSU to be highly meaningful and recognized throughout the world as a world-class education. And so we ensure the use of standards and best practices of graduate education in our policies and procedures. We conduct program review and assessment to make sure programs are meeting their student learning objectives for you and are staying on track with their best practices. And we provide administrative support for graduate education, which means, everything from making sure you get your assistantship and tuition waiver if you're on an assistantship, to helping you get those exams scheduled and clearing you for graduation. And many of you have already gone through or all of you have already gone through the process of admission, which is also a huge oversight area for us. And we're also here to advocate. We advocate for you. At WSU, I am on the lookout, and my team is on the lookout for how can we help graduate students with the state of Washington, nationally and globally. Already today, I've been on 2 meetings where I was advocating for graduate students. We want to make sure that the research enterprise of graduate students and your education, commitment to diversity, academic integrity is all met. And so we're constantly advocating. So service, oversight, and advocacy are our 3 main missions when it comes to your education. I did want to introduce a few people from the graduate school. There's many more, and they're all very important. I've already introduced myself. We also have one associate dean, who's also the director of the McNair Scholars Program, who's Raymond Herrera. And we are going to have some more associate deans joining us, hopefully by the end of the fall. We're a little short on leadership right now, but we've got everything covered, and we're going to be doing those searches early in the fall. So you'll probably see some more people coming online to help us out. I also wanted to introduce our graduate school staff leads. Joe Merrill is our administrative manager. He also is the director of development. So he's out there pounding the sidewalk, trying to get money for graduate student fellowships and scholarships. And he just really helps everything run very smoothly. We also have Jenny Salagumba-Graham. She is our assistant dean and director of student services. And Jenny has been here for a number of years, even though it doesn't show. And she is amazing at knowing the ins and outs of everything from getting you in the door to getting you out the door. So if ever there's a problem that we're not sure how to solve, Jenny helps us with that. Debbie Sherrard is the admissions operations manager. And so Debbie would have been very involved in getting you here to today. She oversees the team that handles admissions, and her team would have been the ones that helped process all of that to get you here today. Daniel Vickerin is our programs and graduate supervisor. And Daniel's he and his team will be in contact with students and programs about the things that you all have to do to, again, for that quality control to get to the end of your program. Yes, we're already looking toward the end because we have to keep you moving along as we go. And Daniel will, and his team would work with you on programs of study, scheduling exams, if exceptions to policy come up, and et cetera. Daniel's team is on top of that. And Myra Young is probably one you really want to know if you're on an assistantship. She's our area finance officer, and she's currently working pretty much nonstop in her office on processing assistantships and getting those tuition waivers applied right now for those mainly doctoral students who are on assistantship. And Cindy Hollenbeck, she is here today. She's our communications director. Cindy helped put together this meet and greet, her and her team. And they also do a lot of the communications that go out to students, like the Friday Focus, which you should be getting weekly on Fridays. And there's so many more that aren't able to be introduced today, but just know there's a whole team of people working on your behalf. The graduate school does serve students across 10 colleges, and I have them listed here. And so you should see yourself in there. Your program should be in one of these colleges. Some have a lot of graduate programs, some have less. They're all equally important to us, and we work closely with the program directors, the department chairs, school directors, and deans of these colleges to ensure graduate education, again, is a world-class experience for you. And I did want to mention get yourself into the bigger picture. We offer 53 doctoral programs, 78 master's programs, also 30 graduate certificate programs. And those are something you might want to look into if you are, in a program. Sometimes it's easy to add a graduate certificate, which is actually a different, it's not a different degree, but it's a certificate you get separate from your degree. And sometimes it only takes a couple of other classes if it's associated with your primary degree to get one of those. We have over 3,000 graduate students enrolled statewide, and we have avenues for faculty at all of our campuses to be involved in graduate education. And we actually have graduate programs and graduate students at 5 of our 6 campuses. And I have the numbers for fiscal year 2020-2021 about degrees conferred, 292 doctoral degrees and 632 master's degrees. And I'm going to put on my glasses to be sure, yes. And we don't have the numbers for 21-22 because those are still being conferred. We just had summer finish up and we're processing the last of those degrees now. So those numbers will be out later. And when I give these numbers, that does not include professional programs that aren't really in the graduate school, like the Vet Med, MBA, MD, or the PharmD. And just to go over a little bit about graduate education and research at WSU, before we get into our wonderful presenters, I wanted to say that this is a time where you're making the transition from student to professional, scholar, and leader. These 3 things. Just think of yourself as that. You're no longer an undergraduate student. You are a professional. You are a scholar. You are the future people who are creating knowledge, discovering knowledge, teaching knowledge, sharing knowledge, working with knowledge. The world depends on you, and you will rise up to be a leader. This graduate education will set the stage for you to be a leader, not only while you're getting your education, but well beyond. And one thing you have to do as a graduate student is really take ownership of your education. You have a lot of people invested in your success. Your program admitted you with a complete expectation that you will finish this degree. You have an academic advisor. Our programs have academic coordinators that are working closely with students to help them progress through the graduate graduate program. The graduate school staff are here to help with any questions. But really, at the end of the day, this degree you're seeking is your education, and you have to take a lot of ownership in that. And some things are a little bit more idiosyncratic for students than they were when you were an undergraduate, where everybody just had to fill in the classes, make sure they had, all the classes required and the electives that they might need to get to the magic number of credits to get their degree. This is very different because you're doing different kinds of work, even work that may not be represented in a class, like your master's projects, master's thesis, doctoral dissertations. So you really have to take ownership of this and be on top of your education to get the most out of it. But that said, ask for help when you need it. You are not alone. There are many, many people who are in the same boat as you, or just, are graduate students who might have a little more experience. Ask your peers, ask your advisors and professors in your program, ask the staff that help run your program, and always feel like you can reach out to the graduate school with questions. And the last thing I wanted to mention was the online graduate school orientation. I have this rhetorical question because you can't answer me, but answer this to yourself. Did you complete the online orientation? If the answer is yes, yay. If the answer is no, please make sure you go and do that. It's available in Canvas and until March. You're automatically enrolled as an incoming new graduate student. You got enrolled right away once you got accepted, and it will be available through March, but I recommend you do it as soon as possible if you haven't already. Just log onto your Canvas and you should see it there. If you log on Canvas and can't find it, let us know, because we want to make sure you get to that. It includes a lot of information that's very helpful about the ins and outs of pursuing your degree, where you can find different help for different things. Even some things you'll hear about today are covered in there, but there's a lot of just details and specifics and logistics that are covered. So it's really important that you see that. We don't make you sit through a presentation. We feel like the Canvas experience is a little bit better. You can do it on your own time, but we do want to make sure you do it. So we do have this thing about questions. If you do have questions, what you need to do is put them into the chat of YouTube. Our moderators will do their best to answer the questions. If the question can't be answered today, we are going to download that chat and we will follow up with you. And we're always going to give the email of people who are presenting so that you can follow up with them directly should you have questions that would be directed to them. So I've put my contact information here, and you can feel free to email me or contact me if you have a question that you think I can help you with. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over now to our first presenter, who is Samantha Edgerton. Samantha is the Graduate and Professional Student Association President for 22-23. It is my pleasure to hand off to Samantha.
Thank you so much, Tammy. Good morning, everybody. As Tammy said, my name is Samantha Edgerton, and not only am I the GPSA president, but I am also a fourth-year doctoral candidate and co-chair of Camaradas, which is the main graduate organization for Latinx Chicanx students as well. So I am so happy to have this opportunity to talk about the Graduate and Professional Student Association today. I also have here for your introduction as well, my Vice President, Marwa Ali. Marwa, are you here to say hello real quick?
Good morning.
Okay, so we are, along with our Vice President of Legislative Affairs, the three executive team members of the GPSA. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get started to talk about what exactly GPSA is. I remember after the first year I went through graduate orientation and I would hear the term GPSA over and over again, and I would think, who exactly is GPSA? What exactly do they do? And so our goal this year is to let everybody know, probably so much to the point that most people might get sick of hearing about us, what exactly it is we do, what programs we sponsor, and how we can help you with the graduate and professional experience. So GPSA is the official representative body for graduate and professional students at WSU. We are funded by student and activity fees. So S&A fees are those fees that you're either signing up to have taken out of your paychecks if you have if you are receiving a stipend for your teaching assistant or graduate assistant duties, or if you just paid out those fees. This is what supports GPSA, and this supports the programs that we support. So our primary role is to provide academic, professional, student advocacy, and social support services and programs. So what does this mean? Well, essentially your student fees help support, first of all, our Professional Development Initiative, or PDI. You will be seeing lots of emails coming up in the next several weeks about the programs PDI supports, starting with your a TA. So now what? That helps you, if this is your first time being a teaching assistant, what exactly do you need to know to be successful in that role? GPSA helps support that. Whoops, how did that go? Oh, I wasn't quite there yet. So also financial support. We offer evening and summer childcare. This is a huge initiative that Marwa has been hard at work on. During COVID, she actually coordinated with Pullman's YMCA to basically subsidize summer as well as after school childcare programs. So you'll be seeing a lot of announcements for those graduate and professional students who are parents. So we're also this year looking forward to WSU's Child Care Center offering evening childcare beginning this semester. We also support the Research Expo in the spring, so you can show off your hard work and efforts, as well as travel grants for traveling to different conferences. So this travel grants helps pay for different fees, such as your conference registration fees and so forth, as well as RSO funding, which RSO stands for Registered Student Organizations. So the RSO funding is a huge portion of GPSA's effort to have different graduate and professional student organizations be funded for activities that those specific groups would like to support throughout the year. We also support at the end of the year the Graduate and GPSA Excellence Awards, as well as numerous social events. Upcoming this August 31st is the Ice Cream Social that we sponsor through Ferdinand's Ice Cream, as well as bowling nights, New Year's Eve at Etsy Bravo. Hopefully we'll be able to do that again this year after a several-year absence. The GPSA Book Club, as well as Restaurant Week, where you can get discounts off, off meals from different restaurants in town. Our mission here is also advocacy. So in addition to supporting students through social programs and professional development, our Vice President of Legislative Affairs here, AJ Barman, he is actually working to make a legislative agenda. So not just at the university level, but also local, state, and federal levels to focus on missions such as increasing affordability and accessibility for graduate and professional students. So hopefully this year it won't be online, but AJ, as well as a couple other representatives, will be traveling to Olympia for Coug Day at the Washington State Capitol. The picture to my left here with Butch T. Cougar is from several years back, I think from the last time we were able to do this. So again, our main mission here is to facilitate interdisciplinary communication among different departments within and different locations, our research and extension locations as well within the graduate and professional student community. So I won't go into this too deeply because you're being inundated with information, but just so you know, as you can see, the graduate school at the top, as well as the student involvement or student affairs, are who we work in conjunction with. So GPSA takes issues that we hear from you, our constituents, and we talk to people like Tammy at the graduate school, as well as our new chancellor, Elizabeth Chilton, as well as various other administrative professionals. That help run WSU and the graduate school. So GPSA works closely with these individuals. So, we have this setup, we have this student government in place. So your representatives who meet with us, who form our Senate, can bring the issues that you have to our attention, and so we can filter that upward. So the GPSA Senate, the GPSA Executive Board actually, as I said before, includes myself, our Vice President and Vice President of Legislative Affairs, but we also have committee chairs that represent each of the colleges. And again, talking about professional development, we also have a budget committee as well as the programming committee, to name just a few. We also sit on university committees as well. And the senators meet every other Monday. So again, the senators from your department, you will be learning who they are soon. And I'm not going to go over this too much because apparently I'm over time, so I apologize for that. But we also offer financial support in the form of dissertation grants, as well as different awards and scholarship committees that actually go towards the research exposition as well every spring. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up here. Here is my email. Please use it if you would like to get in contact with me. We love to hear from all of our graduate and professional students, because this helps set our agenda. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Samantha. And I do want to mention to all of the viewers, all of the graduate students, that we will be sharing this slide deck with you after the presentation today. So you will have an opportunity to see all of this information again visually. Okay. Next up, we have, next up, we have Abode Podul. Trying to advance the slide. There we go. We have Abode Podul, who's going to talk further about the professional development initiative that Samantha mentioned as one of the programs supported by GPSA.
Thank you, Tammy, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. This is Abode. Good morning. I am the chair for Professional Development Initiative and also would be a third-year PhD student in electrical engineering starting this fall. So today I'll be talking more about the Professional Development Initiative in my upcoming slides. Okay. The team is actually comprised of myself, Tammy Berry, Vice Provost for Graduate and Professional Education, and Sydney Schwendeman, who is the PDI Graduate Assistant. To talk more about PDI, we're actually a partnership between the grad school and the GPSA, which just Samantha talked about. The main goal here is to ensure that the students have the right necessary skills, knowledge, and mindsets that could be fruitful for them throughout their academic as well as future career endeavors. Through PDI, we offer different kind of workshops, institutional memberships, networking, as well as different resources that are available for the students to take. So these are the list of different workshops, different events that we have organized for this semester and for the upcoming semester as well. The first one being Congrats, you're a TA, now what? This would be an excellent opportunity for TAs that are working this semester or in the future semesters to know what are the things they need to know, or what are the things they need to do when they are TA. The one is scheduled for August 38th. Okay, I'm not sure how this is moving. Sorry about that. Okay, the first one is scheduled for August 38th at 11:30 a.m. At CUB. And there are different other kind of events such as mental health and health resources, insurance 101, what are the terminologies and processes that we need to know while filling up the insurance, or what are the different mindfulness works that we can do, how to use EndNote, Zotero, or how to do a literature review. So these are just trailer of few of the events that we have, and to know more about the full schedule, you can visit our website at gradschool.wsu.edu/pds/events to know more about what kind of events we have, how they are organized, and also to know more about the PDI. We also have some institutional memberships for the graduate and professional students, which are primarily versatile PhD, PD education. You can know more about this institutional memberships in our websites. And personally, I've been using Grammarly for quite a while now. And being a non-native speaker and writer, it has definitely helped me frame my thesis chapters or frame my papers pretty well before I can submit them. So I think this is a pretty good opportunity for you all to use. And as I forgot to mention about it, it's all free. So you don't have to pay anything for this. It's just application based. And if you just apply, you would most probably get it. So if you have any more questions, any suggestions, we'd be more than happy to take it. You can email either Tammy, Sydney, or me in the mentioned email. So we'd be more than happy to take your requests or questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abode. I do want to reemphasize what Abode said. This is incredible opportunities. We work really hard to bring these professional development opportunities to you. So I know not everyone can attend all of them, but please look at the list and pick those that would be most helpful to you, especially this first semester. There's some really good ones in there for first years. Next, and I do also want to apologize that sometimes we're going to have a little glitchy thing. This is 2022. And so when we're doing these things through virtual, you'll have some glitches, but we're doing our best over here. Next, I want to introduce Kim Alapa. Kim is going to talk to you about student affairs at WSU and how it interacts with graduate students.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us via Zoom and on YouTube. My role really in student affairs as Associate Vice Chancellor is to serve as a resource for everyone, both on the Pullman campus and across the system. And so my slides today are just to give you an overview of services that are available. I have colleagues that are also joining us that will go a little more in depth into some of these areas. Really, what I want you to walk away with is understanding that student affairs is built for graduate students as well as our undergraduates. A lot of folks think that student affairs really focuses on undergrads, and we do. There's a lot of them, but we are also here to support our graduate student community, and we want you to take advantage of the resources that are available to you. As Sam mentioned, we partner very closely with GPSA. We also partner very closely with the graduate school in identifying things that are coming up through the graduate student community. And so we want to address those concerns as well as we can. One of the things I want you all to remember is that the Office of the Dean of Students and our Student Care Network is really here as your starting point. And so if you find yourself in a situation that you're just not sure where to go or where to get that information, that Office of the Dean of Students is a great place to start. They will be able to connect you with the graduate school, with GPSA, with other connection points on your campus to find what's best for you in that particular situation. They provide academic guidance. They can be a resource if you're just wondering what comes next. They can be there as a resource for you. Our Access Center, Cougar Health Services, and our Counseling and Psychological Services, you're going to hear a lot about in the coming slides. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time there, but just know that those are available to you as a graduate student. Our dining on campus is also available to you. You can purchase what we call a mini meal plan. If you're here on the Pullman campus and living off campus, you can purchase that mini meal plan that allows you access to our dining facilities and spaces on the Pullman campus. And so don't worry about that. You can take advantage of those dining spaces. They have a wide variety of nutritional and dietary restricted and all kinds of things that you can take advantage of. We encourage you to do that. I actually have a mini meal plan myself, and I go through it every semester because it's a great way to grab lunch on campus. If you find yourself in this position where you are facing a little bit of food insecurity or just need a little help in between paychecks, in between whatever resources you have coming in financially, The Cougar Food Pantry there's a food pantry on every one of our physical campuses. So you should take advantage of those resources. They're free to students. Here in Pullman, it's a pretty robust pantry in our Compton Union building. Each campus does a little different, and extension locations also have resources to food insecurity resources for you. So I would take advantage of talking to your advisor and getting details about that if you need to in your local community. We also encourage you to involve yourself in all of those GPSA activities that both Sam mentioned and Abode mentioned. There's tons of activities that you can plug into for resources professionally and personally. Student engagement here on the Pullman campus, and actually on every campus, also offers programming that you should get involved in. So there are movies, there are club activities, there are fun things, as well as professional development that will help you form community and connection on your campus or in your location for extension. We just encourage you to really get out of your comfort zone a little bit and make sure that you're meeting people beyond just those that you might be studying with for your graduate program. There's a wealth of opportunities out there. Check what we call Presence. It's an app online that you can get into and see events based on which campus you're located in. So you can tailor that so that you see only those that are closest to you that are available and happening by date or by certain keywords. So you can check that out anytime you want. Recreation and well-being, again, available to you as a graduate student on your campuses. It looks a little different depending on where you're based. Here in Pullman, we have the Student Recreation Center that you should absolutely use when you have time. It's a great way to manage your stress, to just take care of yourself in terms of physical and mental health on top of all of your graduate work. I know it can be stressful. And so making sure that you carve out time to take care of yourself in those spaces are really important. And each campus has a little different variation again for recreational availability, but take advantage of it, do it. It'll make you feel better in general. And then entertainment and campus life. Here in Pullman, we do a lot with our student entertainment board. Again, the other campuses have variations on that. And so I would encourage you to check out Presence, see what's available, and go make some time for that. It can get very easy to get sucked into purely academic, purely classroom management. I know you all have a lot on your plates, but make time to just decompress and to take care of yourselves in that space. It will help you in the long run, I promise. So we have movies, we have week of welcome activities on every campus. There's things happening that are just fun and engaging, and it's mostly it's included in your fees that you're already paying. And so make sure that you are plugging in where you can. I'm not going to go into a lot of depth because my colleagues that are here from Student Affairs and other divisions are going to share some very specific resources for you. But if you do have questions, I ask you check out our website, email me directly, pass your concerns or questions on to Sam or to others, and they can get those to us here in Student Affairs, and we will partner with you and other resources as you need to. We're happy you're here. We know that it can be a little daunting starting a graduate program. We are here to support you through that process. Thank you all very much, and good luck with your academics.
Thank you so much, Kim. And even though I'm more over the academic side, I want to say the student affairs side is so important to us in the graduate school because we want happy, healthy graduate students. So please take advantage of all of the things that Kim was talking about, and some of those will be, again, presented in more depth a little later in the presentation. But we want you to have a balance. We don't want you just to be a student, a scholar, a researcher. We want you also to have some personal balance and a healthy personal life as well. So, excuse me, next up we have Stephen Bischoff and Dion Cromarty, who are going to talk to you about community equity and social justice resources.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Stephen Bischoff. Our community equity and social justice resources for reference are within our Division of Student Affairs here on our WSU Pullman campus. I'm the director for our Office of Student Equity. I know it says Student Equity Services. Office of Student Equity is our new name. We had been Multicultural Student Services for many years. It'll take a little bit of getting used to, but our Office of Student Equity. And then my counterpart here, Dion.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dion Cromarty. I am a coordinator in the Office of Outreach and Education, which we focus on social justice education. And I'm also in the grad school too. I'm a third year PhD student, so I'm starting up. So I know how this process works for folks.
It is great to have all you join. I too am a product of WSU graduate program. I am a proud alum of our American Studies PhD program and have enjoyed continuing to work here at WSU. We're going to talk a little bit about some resources for you, of course. With our WSU Pullman campus, we do have these affinity centers that have existed and they have each of their own history, but you can see quite a bit listed there. From our Access Center, you can see I mentioned first providing accommodations and services for students with disabilities, psychological or medical conditions, or temporary injuries that limit access to just your educational environment. And so that is a great resource to know about from students that have never had any access needs or have known themselves to need any additional support in terms of access to students that are very familiar with different support needs. And so the Access Center is a great resource. You can see also a lot of ethnic identity centers. Many of these centers, while there tends to be a heavy representation from undergrad students, there is also engagement from graduate students as well. There's also listed there the Gender Identity Expression and Sexual Orientation Resource Center. It's also going through a new name. It's now called the LGBTQ+ Student Center. We have a new undocumented student center as of a little over a year ago. Our Women's Center also offers opportunities to get involved in feminist work. They have a magazine called Harpies Magazine. It's student run. They conduct events on campus, including Take Back the Week, Week Without Violence. There's something for students of all genders to get involved in with the Women's Center. Additionally, it's not listed here. We have a brand new First Gen Student Center that's located here in the Compton Union Building. So I'd also want to mention that with these affinity centers, I've had the pleasure to work with many graduate assistants that have supported the work, got direct experience working with students and applying things from various fields. And so graduate students have been a key part of being able to do this work and to really provide the support that we as WSU are trying to strive for. You can also see there's a lot of mentoring and student leadership opportunities through our areas. Our Compass Mentor program, it does focus on first-year undergraduate students, so I know that's not as applicable. But once again, graduate assistant students do help us to run these programs. Our Team Mentoring program, focusing on students in the STEM fields. We collaborate with student organizations. There's graduate student organizations as well. As we continue to navigate through COVID, a lot of these organizations are getting back on their feet. And so we're happy to partner with graduate student organizations that have different affinities. And once again, we have office assistants and interns also listed that that help us be able to do our work.
Sorry about that, everyone. So next on the outreach and education side, like I said earlier, we do a lot of our social justice education across here at WSU's Pullman and also system-wide. So one of the big programs that we offer is our social justice peer educator program. And these are just our undergrad and graduate students that really love talking about DEI and social justice work. And they help create educational programs and training for, we do mainly for students, but we also have done things for faculty and staff across to advance equity, diversity, and social justice. We also have done stuff for our community members for like school districts, like Pullman school districts, and also Spokane school districts and things like that. We also have next is our MLK Junior program, which is one of our annual celebrations for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We have done that for over 30 years, and it's programs that bring together the community members and the university across the WSU system, and we celebrate different ways to carry on Dr. K spirit through our work. Next, we have our Equity 360 program that is just getting started. It's focused on our DEI training that will mirror our community equity certificate program that we have for our faculty and staff that we have here. And we are still working out, and it'll be the beginning stages. We have more to come. So just stay tuned, and we'll have a launch coming up very soon. Then next, we have our Elsa and Floyd Performance Arts and Speaker Series. And this series is to support inclusive intersectional interdisciplinary arts programs through collaboration with WSU and the community partners through regular performance workshops, speakers, and events. And this series will amplify the cultural niches and reinforce the shared humanity through shared experience and support, and a welcome community. Then I'm gonna turn it back over to Steve.
This last piece, our access and opportunity sub area, you can see many programs listed there. The College Assistance Migrant Program, HEP, TRIO Student Support Services, Upward Bound, First and Study Abroad. All of these programs are assisted with graduate students, helping to not only just support, but a lot of the ideas that have come from our graduate assistants have helped us to develop these to be better programs. The last link there is the Cougar Food Pantry, and we're very happy the last couple of years to have it be unveiled here right in our Compton Union building here on the Pullman campus. We have that located on the ground floor. Highly encourage students to utilize it as needed. We try to make sure that this is something that is easily accessible and being able to promote its availability to all students. So with what we've mentioned, I hope that at the very least, you'll see that there's many opportunities to get involved. Obviously, you're going to be immersed in your graduate work, but many student organizations and activities help to make your experience that much more full while going through your program. So we hope you will take the opportunity to get involved. Of course, you're getting a lot of resources today. We listed a whole bunch of websites. I understand that it's quite a bit, but I think that the biggest thing is that if you have questions, to reach out. We'd be happy to expand further, and we hope to see you, whether it's at an event, or we hope that you might be getting involved, or you might be one of our graduate assistants helping us in the future.
Thank you so much, Stephen and Dion, for overviewing all of those wonderful resources. Again, we encourage the graduate students to have that space where they're doing things that are outside of their graduate program, and taking advantage of all the wonderful things that are available to them at an institute of higher education like WSU. So thanks again. So next up, we have Lauren Brown. He is the Associate Director and Clinical Director of Counseling and Psychological Services. And so Lauren's going to tell you about some of the services you have available in this area.
Hello, everyone. I am a licensed psychologist, and I work here on the Pullman campus. And I'm going to talk a little bit about resources for mental health needs. So each of these campuses have some mental health resources. They're going to vary depending on which campus you're located on. So I provided some phone numbers here. One of the things that I recommend is that if it's during regular kind of business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, that you contact the mental health resources, the counseling center that is corresponding to your campus, to hear about what's the process for scheduling a first appointment or getting started with services, because that's going to also vary from one center to the next, one campus to the next. So for example, here in the Pullman, on the Pullman campus, Counseling and Psychological Services is part of Cougar Health Services, and students call and schedule an initial consultation. This is our version of an intake where you're able to meet with a counselor for 25 or 30 minutes discussing what things you're wanting to get help with, and then you and that counselor coming up with a plan about what resources might be a good fit for you, including resources that we have at CAPS, Counseling and Psychological Services, or resources on campus, or online resources. But that process might look different if you're on the Vancouver campus that has their own counseling center, but their intake process might be different. So a good place to start is to find the website that provides information, or to just give a call and say, how do I start if I'm interested in mental health services? What's the first step? We also recognize that sometimes you have mental health concerns or really need to talk to someone in a time when the counseling center or mental health services are closed, maybe after hours, on a weekend, or on a holiday when the university is closed. And so there are also phone numbers for an after hours crisis hotline. And for many of these campuses, that connects you to a call center that is staffed by mental health specialists. There are, of course, other resources as well. I want to highlight some of those. There are national resources. There are also some that may be particularly focused on certain identity variables that might be important. So for example, the Trevor Project has resources specifically for LGBTQ plus identified individuals. And then also wherever you're located, if you're really concerned about perhaps thoughts of harming yourself, thoughts of harming others, things where you're worried about your own safety, then also utilizing appropriate emergency services in your local community, which may include calling 911 or going to the nearest emergency department. Another thing for graduate students that may be available is important to check and see if you have the United Health Insurance Plan. Then that also includes, as part of that, access to something called Healthiest You. This is a telehealth resource. And in addition to medical services, it also provides therapy or counseling and psychiatric services. And if you are on that insurance plan and have that access to Healthiest You, then that's at no cost. And I've included a link here that provides a little flyer and information about that. But that's something where you can work with Healthiest You to get established with a counselor through telehealth resources. And like I said, it varies from one campus to the next. So really a good place to go to is to find the website or to call. And also, we are aware that mental health needs are an ongoing area of need and support for graduate students. And so the university is looking at resources that could help the entire system and continuing to develop those. And so there are things that we're excited about that are being worked on, and hoping to have those even starting in the next few weeks, next few months, as we expand the additional resources available to support you with your mental health needs.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Please know that these resources are available to you students. And I also wanted to mention that the state of Washington has worked to activate the 988 number, which is a suicide and prevention crisis line, or suicide and crisis lifeline. So you just have to pick up a phone and dial 988 to get connected with someone who can help you if you're in a crisis. So we'll make sure you have that information as well when we send the slides. Thank you so much, Lauren. And now I want to introduce Becky Meyer. Becky is with the, let me pull up her information here. She is with Cougar Health Services. And so Lauren's gone over the mental health side, and Becky's now going to talk to you about student insurance and some things about the medical clinic.
Hi, again, my name is Becky Meyer. I'm the student insurance specialist here at Cougar Health Services. I'm also the billing lead. And so just as Lauren had said prior, Cougar Health Services consists of counseling and psychological services, the medical clinic, the vision clinic, and a full pharmacy. Cougar Health Services is available to our Pullman graduate students. And the treatments that they offer are for illness and injury, wellness exams, sexual health services, services for transgender patients, sports medicine, nutrition and counseling, immunizations. And this is all through our medical clinic. We also can help with referrals. If we're not able to provide your medical needs right here within our clinic, we have a specialized referral list that can help you find the services that you need out into the community. We also work very closely with the medical clinic and our counseling and psychological services to refer back and forth between each other to make sure that our students are getting the services that they need. We bill most insurances here at Cougar Health Services with the understanding that we are not contracted with all insurances. So it's very important that you know if you have an insurance that is not provided by WSU, that to find out how your insurance will cover you here on the Pullman campus. Outside of our medical clinic, we also have a vision clinic that does comprehensive eye exams. They also have retail products such as contacts and glasses. So if you are needing an annual eye exam, you can do that right here on campus. If you're going through your day and you break your glasses, our technicians are fantastic here at the Vision Clinic. Just stop in and they can help you out with that. Or just stop in so that they can schedule an appointment for you for your visit. We also have a full pharmacy here within Cougar Health Services. We can help you transfer your prescriptions. If you're not on the Pullman campus, they also have the availability to mail your prescriptions to you. And they also have over-the-counter medications. So if you're needing something today, such as a cough drop or cough medicine, you can just stop in other than leaving campus for those items. The other thing that I want to talk with you today is whoops, I'm going backwards here. I apologize. Is the graduate student insurance. The graduate students who are on assistantship are automatically enrolled through their assistantship in the medical insurance. Our medical insurance is covered by United Healthcare. The dental coverage is through Delta Dental, and that is an automatic process. If you are a graduate student that is not on an assistantship, you can always contact me to see if you would be eligible to apply for coverage if you're interested in the WSU plan through United Healthcare. The United Healthcare Student Resource Plan is a great plan for students. We have low deductibles. It has a $500 deductible, 80%, 80/20 co-insurance, which means that the insurance after that $500 deductible is met, the student or the insurance would pay 80% and the student would be responsible for the other 20% of charges. One thing we want all graduate students to know, because there would seem to be issues with this in the past, is that you do have prescription coverage. It is a little different than commercial plans. Unfortunately, it cannot be billed electronically. So you would need to use Cougar Health Services Pharmacy for these prescription benefits. You are able to use an outside pharmacy, but you would have to pay out of pocket and then submit through United Healthcare for reimbursement. With that, it is applicable to your deductible, where if you use the Cougar Health Services Pharmacy, those prescription charges are not applicable to your deductible. With this plan, you do have an emergency or ER copay of $200. We just like to make that aware up front so that students are not using the emergency room when unnecessary, just because of the additional costs. To reduce your out-of-pocket costs, your best resource is Cougar Health Services. For office visits at Cougar Health Services, the deductible is not applicable. Only is it applicable to x-rays and lab charges here at Cougar Health Services. For our outside campuses or remote campuses, a good way to reduce your out-of-pocket costs is to use your local student health service center if you have one. If not, make sure that you see a contracted provider with United Healthcare. As I said, you have a $500 deductible. That is with a contracted United Healthcare provider. If you use an outside provider, you have a $1,000 deductible. So you want to make sure that that provider that you're seeing is contracted, so you'll have less costs. Dependent coverage. We do offer dependent coverage. You would just need to contact Cougar Health Services Billing and Insurance Department, or go on to our website at cougarhealth.wsu.edu and get a dependent enrollment form. Dependents need to be enrolled by the 13th day of classes, and they need to be enrolled each semester. So if you do not enroll them each semester, they would not have continuous coverage. Now, if you have a life event such as a marriage or a birth during that time, then please contact me so that you can get that form, because whenever you have those life events, we can enroll them midterm after the 13th day of classes. We also have a 24 emergency care hotline at Cougar Health Services. So if you need just medical advice after hours, do contact our Cougar Health Services main line, and it will direct you to that 24-hour emergency hotline. Again, I said the dental coverage was through Delta Dental. Delta Dental is contracted with most of the dental offices here in this area. The biggest thing I like students to know or to be aware of about the dental coverage through Delta Dental is it has a $1,000 maximum per academic year. And with that, what that means is that that's the maximum that they will pay out for you in that academic year. So once they hit that $1,000, there wouldn't be any more funding until the next academic year. And as I said, it does run on an academic year, which is the 16th of August through the 15th of August the following year. If you have any questions, the biggest thing I want you to remember from today is that I am here at Cougar Health Services, and that's my passion, is to help our students. And so please contact me. Do not be afraid to send an email to that student.insurance@wsu.edu or give me a call. This is my direct line. I'm happy to help. I want to help. I know that the insurance and navigating your medical services can be quite difficult sometimes, or there's just questions or things you may not know about your medical insurance. So please contact me at the 509-335-6758. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Becky. And when I was the director of a doctoral program, I called Becky quite a few times to help me with helping students. So I can attest that she's very helpful. And even though the student insurance piece is for those who are on assistantship, all of the things on the first slide Becky mentioned are for all students, because those are the services for students who are enrolled here at WSU. Next up, we have Holly Ashkanajad, and Holly is going to tell us about compliance and civil rights.
Hi, everyone. I'm the director and the Title IX coordinator of the Compliance and Civil Rights Office here at WSU. We are located in Pullman, but we are a resource for the entire system. So no matter where you are, you can contact us. We are a resource for a couple of things. So broadly, our office provides technical guidance and training to students and staff at the university relating to civil rights laws, student and employee rights, affirmative action, and Clery Act campus safety. We are also the central resource for any reports of discrimination or harassment. meaning that if any of you experience any discrimination or harassment at the university, you can come to our office, you can make a report, you can report on behalf of a friend or somebody that you know, and we can initiate a process to get you in connected with our office for a very low pressure intake consultation. I just want to pause here and mention for graduate students, we see that you are a somewhat vulnerable population in that oftentimes we hear from graduate students who may be experiencing discrimination or harassment, but are afraid to report or engage with our office because of their concerns on it, how it might impact their academic prospects. I just want to encourage you to come in if you do have concerns for an intake consultation. Again, with that process, very low pressure. You don't have to share very many details. You can get information from our staff members about what options or resources might be available to you and what other supportive measures might be available to you, because you might be surprised that there are some resources to help address your concerns through that process. We also conduct investigations into discrimination and harassment. The investigations can lead to disciplinary sanctions for employees and students. And then we also conduct informal resolutions, which are basically an agreement between two parties that have a dispute on something related to discrimination or harassment. And they can come up with a binding solution that works for both parties. And that's a voluntary process if individuals want to engage in it. When we talk about discrimination and harassment at the university, we are talking about conduct that is targeted towards somebody because of their membership in what we call a protected class. Protected class is just a characteristic or trait that is distinguished as deserving additional protection from discrimination due to historical inequities. I've listed out a whole slew of them on this slide. I'm not going to read through all of them, but the main point here is that all of you are members of multiple protected classes. And although we don't want you to have to experience any discrimination or harassment, that possibility always exists. And so you should be aware of your resources and where to go if you need help. The policy that covers these different types of discrimination and harassment prohibitions is called Executive Policy 15. It applies to everybody at the university, so students, staff, faculty. And it also covers reports for conduct that occurs both on and off campus, because conduct happening off campus has the potential to harm you on campus as well. Just some examples of the types of concerns you might experience and may want to report. One, somebody intentionally treats you differently because of a protected class. Two, a policy or practice impacts you differently because of your membership in a protected class. Three, someone subjects you to unwelcome harassment based on your membership in a protected class. Or four, someone subjects you to sexual harassment, including things like sexual assault, stalking, domestic violence, and dating violence. I also want to note that when it comes to discrimination, there's a wide variety of conduct that can fit into that arena, from something that's very minor, for example, like maybe one comment or something that happens offhand, all the way up to really egregious conduct like a hate crime or sexual assault. What that means is there's a wide variety of responses available at the university. And I try to stress that with students, because sometimes we hear from students that they don't want to report because they don't want to get somebody in trouble. Parts of our process are educational in nature. And so it's perfectly fine to share information that you aren't sure if you want to report or you want to find out what kind of response might be available for it. For your reference, we are not the only resource for you. So we often hear from folks that they are not sure what they want to do yet, and they don't want to talk with an office on campus. They prefer to talk with somebody confidentially. So you do have confidential resources, you have external resources, and you have some criminal justice system resources. You don't have to memorize all of these. If you remember my office's name, we have a resources page that has resources for every campus. But if you're looking for a confidential resource, particularly if you've been the victim of a crime, we have a number of victim advocacy agencies that are listed that are completely confidential and often have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week crisis lines that you can contact for support and advocacy. Of course, your counselors and medical providers are also confidential. If you have an employment role at the university, you have access to the Employment Assistance Program. At the university, my office is a great resource for you, but you can also contact the University Ombudsman's Office, Human Resource Services for concerns about employees, or the Center for Community Standards for concerns about other students. You can contact law enforcement, WSU PD, Pullman PD, Vancouver PD, whichever police department is in the area that you're in. And you can also, if you have a concern about the institution and you think the institution is not responding appropriately to your concern, you also have the right to seek the recourse through external agencies such as the Federal Office of Civil Rights, also called OCR, the Washington Human Rights Commission, and then for employment matters, the Federal Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC. That's all for me today. I did just want to note at the very end here that as a student, Dr. Berry had previously said in her introduction that you are truly transitioning from a student to a professional, a scholar, and a leader. It is really important that you understand that you're no longer just a student. From my office's perspective, we often have complaints that come to us where individuals who are graduate students are engaging with undergraduate students or others in a manner that they would normally engage with their friends. But keep in mind, if you're in a position of power on campus, if you're a teaching assistant or anything like that, that you are viewed in a different light, that you're viewed as somebody who has authority or power on campus. And so that really does change the dynamic of your relationships. So keep that in mind, and then also keep us in mind as a resource if you ever need any help. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Holly. I really appreciate what you said at the end there, because the graduate students truly are transitioning into a new role in life. And sometimes they have to be reminded that they might be the one in charge now over labs and over classes and such. So thank you so much for that. And I have actually walked students from my office to Holly's office for a warm handoff when they told me some things that I thought Holly's office needed to look into. So these things do arise, and just know that CCR is a resource for you. Next up, we have Lorena O. English, sorry. Lorena O. English is going to tell you about a resource I know all of you are going to use, which is the WSU libraries.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lorena, and let me just go ahead and see if I can get my slides right here. So I wanted to talk a little bit about library resources that are available to you. And we have a lot of resources. Obviously, millions of books through WSU. And we will also belong to a regional system called Summit that allows you to order books from other campuses all over Oregon, Washington State, plus the University of Idaho, which is about 8 miles away. If you need something, an article that we don't have, or a book that we don't have, or a data set or a video, we also have interlibrary loan that you can use to get access. Let's see, there we are. And one of the main ways in which you get access is through our library catalog, Search It, but we also have extensive number of discovery databases that beyond Google Scholar, or that will help you find articles, dissertations, books, etc. And we have extensive journal holdings. And I do want to note that if there's an article that you want that we don't have, we have interlibrary loan. Just yesterday, I put in an interlibrary loan about 3 o'clock, and it was waiting for me when I got in this morning at 8:15. So our interlibrary loan services, can't promise it's always going to be that efficient, but really pretty good. So I want to encourage you all to take advantage of them. The next thing, obviously, are librarians and library staff. We are here to assist you. All departments have a librarian who works with their program, and we also have library staff who just do amazing things. All of you will discover how wonderful our circulation staff are. They will save your life at some point, I can pretty much promise you. We have streaming video. We have a video through a service called Avon, and we also have access to Canopy, although streaming always kind of complicated. We have an extensive number of ebooks. We have an e-reserve system called Leganto. Those of you who are going to be teaching assistants, you will get to know that. But I also want to add that in addition to all of the things that we have that are for your scholarly needs, that we have things for you as people too. You know, popular magazines. We have a lot of fiction. If you want to just come in and use one of our computers to watch a video or something else like that, those are all things that you can do. We have study rooms that are reservable, and you just right off our website. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can reserve study rooms well in advance across the entire semester, up to about 3 or 4 hours a day. So it's pretty nice. We do have a number of huddle stations in the library that were paid for by student funds. And these basically have a larger screen and a table where a group of people can sit and work on the larger screen. And we also have a few Microsoft hubs in the library that will enable you to work with a much bigger screen and do some really interesting things. Finally, something that's near and dear to my heart, because my husband works there, is our manuscripts, archives, and special collections, or MASC. Those of you who might be interested in working with seriously primary sources, those of you who want to maybe engage with the history of the universe as you teach, this is a great resource for all of you. Now I'm going to switch away from library resources and talk a little bit more about library services. And the first thing are librarians, and we are librarians who are liaison librarians. And that means that we're available for you as someone to help you as you work on your theses and dissertations or whatever. So research consultations, getting together over Zoom and basically going through things, whatever help you need, we'll try to provide. But those of you who are going to be teaching assistants, we also can do library instruction classes for your class, regardless of what discipline, to introduce them to library resources and services and show them what are the most appropriate databases and resources for what they have. We also have remote access. That means if you're off campus, how do you get access to library resources? Well, there are 3 tools. First, we have a tool called LibKey Nomad, which is something that you can, it's basically an extension, follows you around, does not keep track of any of your personal information. And if you land on an article that we have, it'll tell you. We also have our proxy bookmarklet service. And if you're using the campus VPN, it's as if you were on campus. You'll just have automatic access. We have a reference management tool support. I'm our Zotero trainer, and I'll be actually doing that Zotero class as well as a few other of the PDI events. And we also have a librarian in the our engineering librarian, Chelsea, is our EndNote trainer. And I can help you if you want to work with something else, Mendeley or something else like that. But we primarily support Zotero and EndNote. And honestly, if you ask me, for the two pieces of advice for having a good graduate school career, use a reference management program and have 2 honking big monitors. Really, everything else will fall into place. Well, maybe not, but close enough. We also work with students and faculty on issues around scholarly communication and open education resources. If you're a teaching assistant and you want to create an OER for your students so they don't have to pay for a textbook, we can work with you on that. And we can also talk about some of the issues around scholarly communication in the disciplines. We have our Dimensions Lab in the Holland and Terrell Library, and this has large monitors and specialized software, a 3D printer, 3D creation, all sorts of really cool things like that. And a new audio studio where you can record podcasts or videos. I also want to note, for more information, obviously the library site, but I encourage you all just to grab that link right there, the Getting Connected link, because that will actually take you to a library guide that has links for all the things that I've talked about and will show you who your liaison librarian is. And of course, it's not just here in Pullman. If you're in Pullman and you'd like a tour, please email me and I will set you up for our animal health library, our science and engineering library, or Holland and Terrell, which covers everything else. If you're not in Pullman, you're going to want to basically find your regional campus library at Vancouver, Spokane, or the Tri-Cities, and they will be happy. And there are links to all of those on this guide right over here. I should have added that link there, but this link right there, that's the important one. And so they'll be able to help you with that as well. And finally, this is me. And if you have any questions, please contact me. And if you would like a tour of any of our libraries, go ahead and contact me at oenglish@wsu.edu, and I'll be happy to set one up. We really encourage you to use the libraries. The libraries are kind of the crossroad of the university. It's where everything meets. And everyone is going to use our services, and we want you to use our services, and we want to use them to the best of yours and our capability and help you with anything that you might need from the library. So please use us. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lorena. And yes, do look into those library resources. I'll remind everyone again that we are going to send the slide deck with all of these websites and presenter email. So please feel free to follow up to link into the resources that you need anytime within the next semester, or really your entire time in the program. Next up, we have Haija He, and she is going to present on the Graduate Writing Center resource.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. My name is Haija He, and I'm the Outreach Coordinator and Consultant and Graduate Writing Center. Located in the Smith Center for Undergraduate Students, we offer free writing services to WSU graduate students from all disciplines, both domestic and international. Oh, sorry, I just need to click here with this slide. Yeah, we also offer one-to-one tutoring, both in person and over Zoom this fall semester. And all type of writing are welcome, including thesis, proposal, preliminary paper, dissertation, cover letter, and CVs, resume, journal paper, conference paper, and teaching materials. Our consultants are experts from cross disciplines. We can help you to improve your writing at any stage in a supportive and very friendly environment. We can help you to learn to paraphrase sentences, summarize articles, and avoid plagiarism in your paper. We can also help you to improve structure and organization in your paper and polish the draft of your writing. Then here is a video. Let's say what one of the students who used our services said about the GWC.
Hello, my name is Laura Lopez, and I'm recording this video to let you know how awesome the GWC is. GWC stands for Graduate Writing Center, and it's a free resource WSU gives us graduate students to improve our writing. So for instance, I wrote my master's thesis and I would send a chapter to them every week. They would revise it with me for an hour, and we would go over my sentences, we would go over maybe my spelling or maybe my organization skills, and it just improved my thesis so much, and I'm so grateful I took advantage of this. So do take advantage of the GWC. It's free. You log in online, and they're so friendly and they're nice to you, and it's a great way to improve your writing for any proposals or maybe a review paper you're writing or a manuscript you're trying to publish. So do take advantage and have them help you out like they helped me out. Have a nice day. Bye.
Okay, so that is for the video. What I also want to mention here is that pay attention to GWC policy for appointments. Students who want to use our services need to schedule appointment via our scheduler system. And here you can see the website there. And appointments are all listed in our scheduler system. So each student can schedule 2 maximum appointments per week. We suggest making appointments at least 2 days in advance. The scheduler system will now allow you to make appointments within 2 calendar days because the consultants need time to go over your writing to give you effective writing consultations. So, and then also you need to send your writing at least 24 hours before the appointment. If you need more information about the scheduling, please visit our website here. And if you make an in-person appointment, you can visit CUE. The picture shows the outlook of the CUE located at the very near to the CUB. Okay, so if you have any question, anything, anytime, GWC related, email us. And we are here for you as we support you online and in person, and we want to help you in any way we can. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Haija. And I just met with the director of the GWC last week, and was presented some data about just hundreds and hundreds of appointments in the last academic year. at the Graduate Writing Center. So do take advantage of those opportunities for that consultation to improve your writing. And we will also have some writing oriented professional development presentations as well through the PDI. So next up, I would like to introduce Dean Johnson, and Dean is going to go over the very important idea of statistic resources for faculty and graduate students, which for you, it's the graduate student side, but this actually faculty sometimes need this support as well. So Dean's going to talk about that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dean. I'm a scholarly professor in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics, and I'm also the director of the Center for Interdisciplinary Statistical Education and Research. Now, for many of you, you may need to use statistical techniques in analyzing data in your research. And for some of you, statistics may not be a strong suit. And if that's the case, please don't worry. We at CISR are here to help you. Again, as Tammy mentioned earlier, you're not alone. You don't have to sit there spinning your wheels. We're here to help you. And let me just talk a little bit about some of the services that we, some of the things that we can help you with. We can help out with designing data collection protocols and statistical analysis of data resulting from research studies. Planning for data collection, assistance with design of experiments, data analysis, modeling, interpretation of results. Those for some of you, as graduate students, you'll ultimately need to make a presentation when you defend your thesis or your dissertation. You'll need to present your results, and you'll need to be able to interpret your results to your committee. And here's where we can come in and help you out with that if you're having some difficulty there. And also we can help if you've submitted a research manuscript to a journal and you've gotten some comments back from the reviewers about maybe some of the statistics that you used, and we can help out with some of the reviewer comments there. And I guess my take-home message again is just, again, you're not alone out there. If you're having some difficulty with statistics in your research, don't hesitate to come to us for help. We'll do our best. We'll do our best to help you. And here's an email address where we can be reached, and phone number here, and we're located over in Abelson Hall. Our office is not that easy to find in Abelson. It's a little bit of a maze there, but please don't let that stop you from coming over to visit with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dean. It's great that we have these resources. The graduate school support CISR with the graduate assistant, and we recognize how important it is to have these various resources for our graduate students, and we appreciate all you do for graduate student education, Dean.
Thank you,
so
Tammy.
next up we have a presentation on the survey design clinic. We don't have the name on because this was a last minute change, but we're very happy to welcome Ozran Zoma, who is going to present about the survey design clinic, and you'll see him up in the screen in just a second.
Thank you, Tammy. Hi, everyone. My name is Ozran Zoma, and welcome to all the new graduate students at WSU. I'd like to begin by sharing my own story about how I once viewed survey design. I used to be very skeptical about surveys, For example, I knew that when I used to take surveys in the past, I completed them, but didn't really pay much attention, and I would maybe complete it if I was forced to. And generally, I was just very uninterested in filling out surveys. So when I originally took Don Dillman's class on survey design, I went in very skeptical. I was aware that surveys are one of the ways that we collect data in the world, but just knowing my views on surveys, I had doubts that surveys could actually collect useful data. What I learned was that many people who have studied the art and science of survey design have thought about all these factors and many other factors that influence the quality of data collection through surveys. Everything from how surveys look, to what are the potential benefits to respondents of completing surveys, to what are the costs to the respondent, to the social desirability bias, and so on. The art and science of survey design was a lot more complicated than I had previously imagined. The SCSRC Survey Design Clinic provides free services to WSU students, faculty, staff, and affiliated community organizations. We have a small team on staff that provide weekly office hours for consultation. Our team helps figure out everything from how to formulate survey questions, determining whether the question is balanced or leading or misleading, if the question is measuring the concept that you're hoping to measure. We also help with things like determining how to sample a target population so that you reduce any selection bias on your part. We can help you figure out how many respondents you may need to be able to make statistical inferences about your data, or we can help you figure out how to go about actually launching your survey. Our consultation services are meant to help you throughout the entire survey design process. All of our suggestions are primarily designed to help you get the best data possible. In other words, we want to make sure that the data you collect is accurate, of a representation and representative of a group of people you're attempting to survey on measures that you are attempting to collect data on. So these are some of the methods that we focus on. And I want to emphasize that our team has helped graduate students in a broad range of fields, such as political science, business, economics, nutrition science, and so on. I myself have worked to help graduate students with their research, a few local charities, and even some professors work on their survey design for their survey experiments. I would suggest saving this link. And if you have any questions about your survey, at whatever stage you are in the survey design process, stop by the listed office hours on the website. Or if you have any questions, you could find contact information on that website. And that I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So thank you very much, Tammy.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. We appreciate you stepping in to give this presentation to the students. As a psychologist, I definitely appreciate surveys. And of course, students, if you get a survey from the graduate school, please take it. Thank you so much again. And if you are doing any kind of survey research, be sure to use this very helpful resource. Next up, we have Amanda Morgan, and Amanda is going to talk to us about the Academic Success and Career Center.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me, and we're very excited to have the opportunity to connect with you today. So just wanted to go over some of our services for graduate students. While we are located on the Pullman campus, we do have lots of online virtual workshops and virtual appointments. So we do serve students from all campuses system-wide. So some of the career service opportunities that we have for our graduate students, we do have 2 career expos each year. So one in the fall, one in the spring. All of our career expos are hybrid in nature, so you can participate in person or virtually. And we have many employers from the Pacific Northwest who join us. So it's a great opportunity for you to network with industry experts, as well as get your name out there. And I will tell you now, employers love to hear from students, even if you are not anticipating going into industry and you'd like to stay in academia. I know employers are always looking to connect with ongoing researchers and learning, what's next and cutting edge. It's a great opportunity for you to connect. We also provide resume, cover letter, CV review, and feedback in our office. You can set up an appointment to do that. We also have drop-in hours every day, Monday through Friday from 2 to 4. So if you have a last minute need, we're happy to help you with that as well. We have heard feedback that graduate students are also looking for employment opportunities, whether it be during your time here at Washington State University or beyond. And we do have lots of opportunities available for students, whether that be for postgraduate or student employment opportunities. So two of your best resources are going to be our employment platform called Handshake. There are lots of opportunities for graduate students listed on the Handshake platform. It is not solely for undergraduate students. I encourage you to utilize that account. You can update your profile there and search for fellowships, internships, employment opportunities. We specifically use Handshake because it is a platform used by hundreds of universities across the nation, and therefore we have hundreds upon hundreds of employers who are also using Handshake as well. So it's a great opportunity for you to connect with industry. I'd also like to point you to our newly revised website. If you go to ascc.wcu.edu, we consider that our 24-hour virtual resource center. There are lots of resources available, whether it be CV review and help, or workshops. We also have lots of great information about the job search process, negotiating, finding a mentor, that sort of thing. You'll also see we do have lots of events that are listed right on the front page of our website. We also have various career paths. If you click into those career paths for your specific area, it will pull in career-specific information. So if you're looking for a particular area, it is tailored that way. You can also set up an account where you would get ongoing communication regarding that specific career path and or community information. So we have tried to tailor it so you are only getting the information that you need in the time that you need it. And I believe that is it for us. Again, we do have drop-in hours Monday through Friday, 2 to 4. We're happy to meet with you if you would like to not make an appointment. We also do appointments in Handshake with our certified career coaches and are happy to help you throughout your process. Thank you.
Amanda, thank you so much. I think it's really important for the students to know these resources are available and that really it helps them all the way through to the end and getting launched into their next career. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and actually one more thing I will say, we do meet with lots of students who have decided partway through their program that they'd like to go into industry. And so it's very common. I want to normalize that for everyone here, and we are happy to help in any way possible.
Absolutely. There's really no limit to what our graduate students can go off and do. So thank you for making that point. And next up, we have Kate Hellman. Kate is going to talk to us today about, she's part of international programs and is going to talk to us about international student and scholar services.
Thank you so much, Dr. Berry. And like everyone, I'm thrilled to be with you. I will be short and sweet with my comments and look forward to seeing many of you in person for the International Graduate Tutorial that starts tomorrow. So I want to talk a little bit about some of the services that we offer in International Student and Scholar Services in Pullman and as well across the WSU system. So our office has a comprehensive suite of services. Obviously, we're going to be here to provide you with immigration and regulatory support for any needs you have to maintain your F or J visa status. We also have support for you for continuing to refine your English language. And we have lots of involvement opportunities through our International Student Center. I will briefly touch on as well our International Peer Mentor Program. So let's start with some of the services that are in Bryan Hall. And again, I look forward to seeing some of you graduate students tomorrow for the International Graduate Tutorial. I really want to highlight that Monday through Friday, we do have walk-in or Zoom advising every day. 1 to 3, you can stop by in person and speak with one of our advisors or also Zoom in. You will get that Zoom link in immigration advisories via email if you are an international student. I also want to highlight that you don't have to come in and say, I've got a question about curricular practical training or about maintaining my status. We want to come see you and get to know you and also provide you with any holistic support that you might need. As I see all of my colleagues on this call, we do a lot of connection points with different services across the university. That includes our colleagues over at the Academic Success and Career Center for Career Services, but really everything. So if you're not sure where to go or where to start and you are an international student, please come to Bryan Hall either via Zoom or certainly in person, and we'll be glad to help direct traffic and support you however we are able to. We do have a full service immigration center, and you can submit any requests through mypassport.wsu.edu. That is something you can do anytime, and our team will field those requests. Generally speaking, we can turn those around within 1 to 3 days, depending upon what that request is. We do have an international peer mentor program, and if you are a new student coming in, you have been assigned a new international peer mentor, and this individual will be there to support you. You can ask any questions peer-to-peer about what it's like to be a graduate student at WSU, any question that you have about navigating the US culture, the university environment, please get in touch with your peer mentor or as well with us. We will have a number of different structured activities and events. I will quickly highlight 2 of those. One of them is the Rotary Club Barbecue and Ice Cream Social. That is at 4:30 on Thursday in Rainey Park here at WSU Pullman. And you can meet your international peer mentor there. We are also going to have an entry in the Lentil Festival, and that will be 10 a.m. downtown in Pullman. We are meeting at the Neal Public Library, and you would be welcome to wear traditional clothing or your flag and walk through the parade or not. Come and have the experience. And our International Peer Mentor program is there to help you do that. We also have ongoing English as a second language and related support out of Daggy Hall that is facilitated by our Intensive American Language Center faculty. All of you are participating in graduate programs, but you may need a little bit of language support. It's wonderful that we have our Graduate Writing Center, and I am so thankful that you got to hear about all of the opportunities there. We also have a language support lab that we share with the School of Languages, Races, and Cultures out of Thompson Hall. And that is available to you if you need additional support beyond what the Graduate Writing Center offers. That could be something that's a deeper dive, for instance, grammar, or something that is a little bit beyond some of the things that might be provided by the Graduate Writing Center as well. If you're getting ready to give a presentation and you want someone to help you practice your conversational fluency for a conference, that's a great resource to you as well. And the schedule for tutoring will soon be available online. It's also out of our operation there that some of you will be taking an international teaching assistant exam and being evaluated with one of our faculty. If you have any questions about that, please get in touch with us. I promise that it is a very painless process, but that is something that is required for all international teaching assistants. I'm glad to provide you with a little bit more information, and I will share my contact, but I want to wrap up today by talking about additional opportunities to get involved. A lot of our graduate students, as has been discussed today, we spend a lot of time doing research. One of the things that we want to make sure you take advantage of while you're pursuing your graduate education are all of the cultural and immersive learning experiences that you can have. And I encourage you to visit our International Student Center in the basement of the Cub here on the Pullman campus. We have many different programs that you can participate in. All of them are free. We have weekly social events and programs like our 3 p.m. Friday coffee hours, opportunities to interface with other individuals through cultural exchange and sharing. It's a very lovely space, as I hope you can see in the pictures here. We also provide opportunity to experience things out in the community. So be checking your email. You will get a newsletter from our International Center. One of the things that we have coming up is a trip to the Lewiston Roundup and Rodeo. So if you'd like to see what it's like to experience that kind of thing in the United States, that is something that we will be offering. We have internships out of our International Student Center as well, and we also provide career and professional workshops. So I will stop there. I look forward to seeing folks hopefully tomorrow, and thanks again for giving me a little bit of your time this morning.
Thank you so much, Kate, and thanks for reminding everyone that you'll have an entry in the Lentil Festival Parade on Saturday morning. I'll be out there rooting you on, so I know that's fun to march in, so I encourage people to take advantage of that opportunity. Next up is me again. I want to tell you a few reminders for opportunities that are happening this week. University Convocation is Friday at 10 o'clock in Beasley Coliseum. I really recommend that you try to make it to that event if you can. There will be an overview by our newly inaugurated Chancellor of Pullman, although this event will be available to all campuses. But she is also our provost, Dr. Elizabeth Chilton. So it'll be great to hear some of the vision and just welcoming you to the university. And right after that, at 11 a.m., we have an all-campus picnic and resource fair. And my understanding is that that happens at every campus. And for Pullman, it's on Cougar Way. I did not have the information for the other campuses. If there's some other information I can share, I will let you know. But if you're in Pullman, please make your way to Cougar Way. You just have to swipe your card and you'll be able to get a free lunch. Everybody likes a free lunch. And it's great to see a lot of the resources, including some of the ones you heard today with all of their booths and everything. And I wanted to also remind you to check in with your department and your program because you may also have an orientation with them. If you don't, that's okay. Different departments and programs handle it differently, but do make sure you know what you're supposed to do. You may have already had that this week, or it may be in the next few days, but just make sure you're checking in and you're ready to hit the ground running as the semester kicks off next week. And also ensure that you're getting the Friday Focus, which is our newsletter that goes to graduate students every Friday. And try to refer to that each week. You'll see new information pop in, especially in the academic year. It gets updated regularly every week. And you'll see announcements about opportunities, PDI events, and other things. And it's a really important thing just to glance over and see what might be applicable to you. We also put announcements in there about deadlines coming up for the graduate school and for graduation and things like that as well. So it's a great resource and reminder. Next up, we had a slide for, general Q&A. I just went flying past it. And because of the way we're doing this year, we really don't have a way to answer your questions directly, but I want to encourage you again to put any questions that you have into the YouTube chat. And if we're not able to get to those questions immediately today, we will be looking at those, downloading those and getting back to students to answer those questions for you. Again, we'll also be sending the slide deck with all of the contact information for the speakers, and you can feel free to email any of them, let them know you're a new graduate student, and ask your question. And it doesn't have to be right away. That's a resource for you to refer to anytime throughout your graduate education, really. You can follow up with those individuals as needed. So I just want to say from all of us at WSU, welcome to our WSU community. We are so glad to have these you as the new graduate class for 2022-23. We know you're going to do great things, and we're very excited to be here to serve you. And unlike most things you'll go to, we are actually going to end 15 minutes early today and give you some time back in your day. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. And go Cougs.